Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where it has to be said. My name's Denise and I'm here with
Maylene.
this is my sister-in-law.
Yes,
I can't say favorite because I have a few others
that is
who might be
100%
watching.
accurate.
So we're not going to start no beef. But we're here today to have a very important conversation. For those who have seen or haven't seen, I shared this week something about a bike giveaway for Keilany. So Keilany is
My,
created by this beautiful person here,
thank you.
her mom. So I wanted to bring her on. I thought it would be a good idea to kind of raise awareness of who Keilany is, her
hmm
condition, Maylene's story, and attached to having Keilany come here to the United States, and hopefully get you guys to help in voting or donating so that she can reach the goal of getting the bike. And we'll speak a little bit about that. So thank you, Maylene, for coming.
Thank you for the invite.
So tell us a little bit about Keilany, her condition, how it started.
How did it start? Kaylani doesn't have a condition. Kaylani doesn't have a diagnosis. Kaylani has different conditions. Kaylani was born in Puerto Rico, and when she was born, they told me she had hydrocephalus, which is liquid in the head connected to the spinal.
Okay.
But there was nothing they could do because that wasn't was affecting Kaylani. 2 years after, I came to New York, and the doctors told me that she had part of the brain that wasn't functioning, and that wasn't gonna get better, and Kaylani was gonna last until she was 4.
Oh my God, wait, so she only came here when she was 2?
Yeah, that was the first time she came.
That's
Yeah, 2 years
crazy.
old. Then I went back to PR. I came back, the back and forth. But in PR, they wasn't doing anything. It wasn't getting better. There was no answers. She was getting weaker until one day I remember mommy. She called me and said, "Yeah, you have to bring her to New York. That she's gonna die over there." So I wind up coming over here. Got the news that she was gonna last until she was 4. Moving forward, Keilani is 16 right now, about to
Wow.
be 17 years old. Por la gracia de Dios. Um, it's been a big roller coaster, test after test to find out exactly a diagnose.
Mhm.
But to this day, they don't have a diagnosis. Keilani actually has the condition of hydrocephalus. She has problema en el desarrollo of the body,
Like a body
developmental
development.
delay.
Mm-hmm.
She has low tone bones. She has low sugar episodes. And she has some cerebral palsy. That's what I know as of now.
Yeah.
She's still running tests till this day. No diagnosis yet.
So how was it coming from Puerto Rico, where you spend most of your lives, to having to make a decision to come here for her? Because ultimately you came here for her.
Yeah. I didn't like it at the beginning. I felt home. Home is Puerto Rico. That's my heart. That's where it always gonna be.
Yeah.
It was a big challenge because I struggled. Um, I went from shelter to shelter, house to house, even lived with you guys. Um, jumped place to place and still had no answers with Kaylani. On top of it, had her in a wheelchair and a younger brother, which is David, by myself. Um, I didn't want to leave PR. I think this is why it took me so many trips to go back and forth and come to realize she had to be here. In the beginning, I didn't want to. I didn't accept Kaylani as a mother with a kid with conditions and you have no training,
Wow.
no understanding. I rejected Kaylani for a long time because I blamed myself. I said it was my fault. She was the way she was, and I didn't want to have know that affection because I knew she was gonna pass away.
Yeah.
Right? They said 4 years. That's it. After 4 years, what am I supposed to do? So the first 2 years was really hard, and then once I came here, I started visiting church. Right? Back and forth, church go, not church. It wasn't until I had like encuentro with me understanding that I
Mm-hmm.
was picked for a reason. In some weird way, it's like a reason. I can't explain it, but my purpose was to advocate for her as much as I could, love her as much as I could until she's not here. at least I did, what I could, the
Yeah.
best of my ability.
Wow. I didn't know that about
I
you.
know.
I didn't know that.
I
I'm
know.
almost gonna cry just thinking about
Yeah,
that
I know.
because for you to say that,
Yeah.
um, it takes a lot to admit that, right?
Mhm.
And I think as parents, it's hard.
Mhm.
It's hard to be a parent, right?
Mhm.
And then to be a mom of someone who has special needs,
Mhm.
plus everything else that you were going through
Mhm.
personally, right? You don't
Mhm.
have to enter details in that, but I know you had other things going on too.
Mhm.
And to be able to say that at one point you try to disconnect
Mhm.
from that, I give you credit because
Mhm.
to say that.
Yeah, no, it's really hard. You have to really deep in your feelings and understand, like, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I used to put myself to take a lot of pills, like a lot of pills. I was very addict to pills. I think I was like 90 pounds.
I
Like I
remember.
was like really skinny.
Mhm.
Life was really hard. I hated it. I hated every part of me. And that's something I really kept until today. Um, because I felt like she deserved better and I wasn't at my best, right? Um, we're all humans.
Mhm.
We all go through challenges at being parents. But understanding Keilany till this day, I'm still learning
Yeah.
to deal with her. But yeah, that was part of my hardest struggles, right? With my little redhead. Mm, Mi
And she
colora.
is a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
And it's crazy because you came here for her, right? And
Mhm.
that's how the things of God works.
Mhm.
You came in mind with
Mhm.
I'm just here for her,
Mhm.
and you ended up finding God
She saved me.
and
Mhm.
your life completely changed.
100%. I feel like Keilany saved Keilany. I didn't get it. I'm like, oh man,
Mhm.
she's just here, and I gotta worry about her, this, that, there. But she saved me. I feel like if I would have never left, I would have been dead or locked up or overdosed or
Yeah.
something because yeah, she gave me a purpose. She gave me a reason. She a través de todo eso, like I've learned what was God. Even if I'm not going to church, I know there's a reason to everything, and my time will come, right?
Mhm.
But if it wasn't for him, I feel like I wouldn't been able to take these steps and learn how to manage Keilani, right? Because every day is something different.
Mhm.
Every day is a big challenge. I mean, with a regular kid you could talk to and they could tell you, "Mommy, I need this, I need that." Keilani, I have to figure, okay, if she's crying a
Cuz she's
certain way,
nonverbal. Mhm.
she feels a certain way. If she looks a certain way, is it her sugar? Is it her brain hurting? It's a big challenge every day. Like you really have to dedicate yourself to actually understand a special need kid
Yeah. And then she can't do anything for herself.
at all.
Like you're
No, I
you're
do
you're
everything.
doing the bathing, the changing her.
Her hair, her teeth, her pampers, the clothes, the carrying her from the bed to the wheelchair to the walker, to the car. Yeah.
And it's one of those things that on the outside we think we can do it, or we think, oh, it should be done this way, right? Like we
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
has
yeah.
always an opinion of certain
A hundred
things,
percent. Mm-hmm.
but when you're not living in that, you won't understand.
But that shows you to say, like, Keilani's 16 years. I have met so many people in my life, and I could tell you if 5 are still next to me, they understand my struggle.
Hmm.
I lost friends, I lost partners, I've lost family members because that's just facts. People don't understand. I've lost people that say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you 100% support," but then when it pushed to shove, I'm all alone with
Hmm.
Keilani. I have my husband, my 2 kids, and it's just me and her. La hora la verdad, when it's in the hospital and it's me and KK.
Yeah. And it's been such a long journey, right? Because I feel like now this is the most stable she's been,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to God. But in the beginning, it was a
A
lot
roller
of
coaster.
it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of you did a lot of hospital visits, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of emergencies, a lot of learning. Like at one point Kehlani was able to eat food,
Yep.
and then
And then
all of
she
a
stopped.
sudden she couldn't.
Yeah, she was eating food, regular puree foods, but then everything started going to her lungs. And she wound up in the ICU, a few times in the ICU. And they wind up giving her surgery, which I didn't understand at the
Hmm.
time. She wound up having two feeding tubes, so and her G tube, which is her stomach, everything she would get fed through the tube, she was vomiting it. It
Yeah.
wasn't working. So then she had to get a J tube, which is in her intestines, right? So everything goes through there. And now hasta ahora, she's been pretty stable with that. Right now, I'm trying to get her back into puree foods, but it's a process.
Yeah. But even in for school services too, it wasn't always easy
No.
because she was in a public school at first when
Mm-hmm.
she came.
She almost died in a public school. This is why Keilani's in the school she's at now. So so New York has they put you zone school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in a zone school. They put her in a regular public school. However, in this public school, they did a lot of neglect against Keilani. She has certain staff members that were feeding her through the mouth when she was supposed to be fed through the tube, and she choked, and she wound up in the hospital. The second time, Keilani likes to eat clothes.
Yep.
She choked with a sock, and I had to run to the hospital again. Incidents after incidents where I wind up speaking to a social worker in the hospital, and I said, I'm not gonna send her to school. She's gonna die.
Yeah, I remember.
I need her to you guys need to get it together, or I'm keeping her home, because every day I would send her to school. I'm like, she's not gonna come back, because they didn't have the capacity to deal with a kid like Keilani. So I wind up working with the hospital, finding a children's advocate, and I found a lawyer, and I was able to get her in a private school. Till this day, I still go to court every year fighting to prove that the public school DOE cannot give Keilani the security she needs. So even though she's in a private school and she's come so far, every year,
You have
Department
to
of
push the
Education
bed.
wants to take her out. So it's not as easy as people think. Like, Keilani has insurance, she has the regular Medicaid. Um, if you don't advocate for your kid, you're not gonna get it easy. They won't cover everything. There's a lot of things that has to be out of pocket. There's a lot of things that I have to find resource programs that will help
Mm-hmm.
provide her things that, and all of this I've learned it through my process.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like I said, public school, I didn't get no services. I didn't have a home attendant for like 4 or 5 years. I just started getting a home attendant. Um, you learn. But if you really understand that if you don't speak for your child, nobody is. So I feel like that's helped me and Keilani's process, and Keilani to get where she's at right now.
And it's crazy because, everyone was like, come, come, I'll help you, this and that. And a lot of times you had to do it alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times no one knew,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it wasn't like no one knew the steps. So you came figuring out those
Mm-hmm.
steps, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Kaylani's been able to come a long way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were able to celebrate her 16th birthday last year.
Her 15th birthday.
Her 15th. She's going to be 16 this.
No. We did
16, she's gonna
15
be
and then
17.
17, yes. But a
El tiempo
quinceañero,
está pasando.
quinceañero. And that's one of the most beautiful, most beautiful thing was Keilani's quinceañero. I have to say, besides everything, I have a big family on Keilani's dad, because I have to say that's her
They showed up.
dad.
Mhm.
Negro is her dad. And the support that I've had from his family with Keilani is hands down an amazing family, right? But just to see doctors, therapists, and people from PR, people from Florida, you guys, the whole family just be there for Keilani was very, I felt one of the first times like accomplished that I did something, because, it's easy giving photo and they're like, oh, wow, she has a really linda and Keilani this, that. But it's a struggle.
Mhm.
It's an everyday struggle. I go to bed and it's like, is she breathing? Is she okay? Is she happy? Am I doing right? And does she know I love her? And stuff que coge la mente like a person, right? Because it's hard. It's not easy. Sometimes I want to give up. I'm done. I'm tired. It's over. My body.
Mhm.
Keilani's a heavy girl. But I feel like when I started from where I'm at now, I feel like I'm enjoying her. So if tomorrow, let's say she's gone, I enjoyed her. I was there. We had that connection. I was able to show her in vida
Yeah.
how she meant to me and what she meant. I feel like me and Keilani have a connection that is unexplainable, but I know is there. if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Um,
something you and her understand.
yeah, yeah, but like I said, also special need kids is really hard. We could be selfish and say, "Oh, I want her to last 50,000 years," right? But I have to remove my feelings to the side and say she's going through a lot. I'm not. I'm just holding her, but
Hmm.
she's going through it. Like Keilani is a real warrior. Keilani goes through so much. I When her tubes are broken, I have to put them on with no anesthesia. When Keilani has the whole body movement where she has no control of it, I have
Hmm.
to calm. Like she goes through a lot, and we complain about any little thing, right? And yeah, Keilani's a warrior.
Do you feel like that she has helped you get past many obstacles
A
in your
hundred
life?
percent. 100%. I used to complain like a lot. I feel like she's taught me where like it doesn't matter what doctors say, it doesn't matter what anybody says, is what God says. Like if he wants her here, he's gonna have her here, and if he don't, he's not. And I who am I to question it? I just enjoy her. Like I've learned to enjoy her because I always put a time frame. It's gonna be 4. Then when she passed 4, it's gonna be until she's 10. Then we did her big 10, remember?
Hmm.
And then after that, I'm like, oh, until her 15. Then her 15, she got there. After that, I was just like, you know what? We enjoying her.
Until God says.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy that now you're joining her now and she's gonna be 17.
17 years old. Mm-hmm. 17 years old. And she's come a long way. She didn't stand before, and even though she has the support of a walker or stander, she's standing more. She sits on her own more. She's more present.
Hmm.
You know, back then ella estaba como que así en su limbo, but now you see her, she's more focused, she's more
Yeah.
present.
And she's more responsive to
Hmm.
sounds, light,
She
when
has
people
a
say stuff.
she has a communicator device, but instead of talking, it's a movement device.
Okay.
So she communicates with movement because Keilani no se está quieta.
Yeah. And now she's riding bikes, which is
Riding
why
bikes is the
we're
reason
even
why.
here.
Yep. Yep. Keilani needs a it's a therapeutical bike, right? It's also a bike where it makes her feel like she's present with other kids,
Hmm.
right? That she doesn't have to be in a wheelchair, she doesn't have to be in a stroller. This is a bike where she could really move around and enjoy the outside. This is a bike that is expensive.
Hmm.
This is a bike that Maylene does not have the money for it.
And that insurance does not cover.
The insurance does not cover it. You don't have to donate, but if you want to,
Yeah.
amen. But with a little vote and a share, simple 1, 2, 3, it's gonna help her.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, these things are necessary for them, right? Because it's about inclusion, giving them inclusion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Being able
Independence.
to be independent. And for, Meili also has a younger son too, Elias. Is like, you want to be able to do things together as a
Mm-hmm.
family, right? Where it's
It's very
like,
it's very limited.
yeah.
That's another thing with kids with disabilities, and I feel like my boys have been very limited to what I could do, right? Because I don't count on nobody to babysit
Mm-hmm.
Keilani. So it's like, okay, Elias, we have to wait till I find somebody to take care of Keilani. So then our first family trip was Disney. I don't know you remember when
Yeah,
Make a
though.
Wish
Mm-hmm.
Foundation gave Keilani the trip to Disney. We went as a family. When I tell you it was the best trip where I had 2 home attendants 24/7, where I didn't have to worry about Keilani not having fun, but at the same time my boys were having
Yeah.
fun. At the same time I was having fun. Hands down was one of the best trips ever.
Yeah, I remember.
I take her to PR all the time también. It's a struggle. It's a big
Even we
struggle.
went, I think we went to Six Flags and you brought her too. And
It's struggle.
it's hard because
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have her and then the other one wants to go por ahí, por allá corriendo.
Mhm.
And it's like you have to find a balance on how to
And then you
juggle.
got the people that criticize. People that criticize
Uh-huh.
should, can I mind their business? Because at the end of the day, pueden decir that Maylene is crazy, Maylene this, that, and the third, and that I keep Keilani home and I don't take her out. But nobody knows the risk to take Keilani outside, because when you take Keilani outside and it's too sunny, she vomits. If you take her outside, it's too cold, her skin peels. People don't know that because I don't post all
Mm-hmm.
of that, you know?
Yep.
And Keilani if you don't see her, you see her as a baby. Keilany pesa más que David y Elia juntos.
You used to a lot though, but she's
And let
gonna
me
be
tell you,
17. She's big.
and I remember
I
Keilany.
think she's my height.
She's up to my nose.
Oh yeah,
She's up to my
Why are
nose.
you laughing? She's
I was
Elvis is
always
in the
gotta
back.
laugh, yeah. But yeah, it's a struggle. And Keilany, I remember Keilany has come a long way, and I feel like her last hospitalization was when mommy was alive, and mommy was at her last. Keilany was in ICU, and I was pregnant from Elias.
Yep.
So it's a lot to criticize Maylene and señalar, but like a lot of people don't know what Keilany has done in my life and what process I've had to get to where I'm at right now, right, with Keilany. And honestly, I feel like I've come a long way, but I also feel like I have done the most I can to get her the things she need,
Yeah.
right? I can't do more than what's out of my hands. But you guys could vote and share her page. You guys could share the page. You guys could vote. And
We could probably put a link in the bottom
Yeah,
in the
but I
video.
think it changes every day, so we have to kind of like just be mindful of how to.
But we got a
search
lot
her.
of smart people here
Yeah,
that could.
finagle the system.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of followers that could vote for Keilany. Not for me, not if you like me or don't like me.
Yeah.
It's about a kid que necesita a bike, a kid that needs it.
You were gonna say something.
Yeah,
It looked like
that's
you
why I
wanted to say
stopped. Yeah.
something.
No, it's fine. Keep on going. I didn't want to mess up with the flow. You guys were doing good.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's about her, and I wasn't gonna do no. I wasn't. I didn't want to be part of it. I wanted you guys to do your thing, but I feel like this is una plataforma where I think this is something positive for her. Not only her, other kids with special needs, other kids, and for people to be open mind that parents with kids with disability, they're not just crazy and they're moody and they bipolar. They go through a lot.
It's regular parents and we be moody. So imagine having to. It's like double.
They go through a lot.
Especially when you have multiple kids too, because you can't, you pay attention to the special kid, but then how about the other ones as well? They also need attention.
You got to balance it. And sometimes Keilany requires so much that I just focus my other two, right? And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, we've made it work as best as I can, right?
Yeah.
I can't keep like, oh, Maylene, you're doing this wrong. I just try to do the best that I can with all three of my kids. Well, the oldest one, ya se me va. David is un hombrecito ya. But yeah, I feel like let's give more credit to the people that really have to deal with special needs kids. And if you can't help, you can't vote, you can't just don't criticize it.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. And be kind because you don't know what people are going through, right? And by the grace of God, Keilany's still here. And by the grace of God, you're also still here, right? Because you're a living testimony, right? It's not only the victor. Keilany's victory is your victory, right? Because you're there every step of the way. And we're very hopeful that she's going to get the bike. And this is only the beginning of things that Keilany's going to get because she deserves it and because God is on your side.
Amen.
And on her side.
Amen. Yeah. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Keep it moving.
Yeah,
That's it.
keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
If you can't vote, if you can't donate,
just
if you can't share.
and that's okay because everybody has their own life. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own situation. Everybody has everything. But me as Keilany's mom, if you don't understand my process, you can't criticize, right? And then when she's sick or something, and God forbid, dia que me toque despedirme de ella, don't come crying.
Yeah.
Because now is the time where you guys can help. This is where she has a better living, a better way of living. And if you have the resource or you have the button to do it.
Yep.
Because this is just going to make her help.
Yeah. So vote, like, share, donate if you can. And just remember to be gracious and try to find a way to help families that have children that like Keilany. And also, if we reach the goal and pass the goal,
It's going to help other kids that doesn't have enough votes or resource. So the money, any money que yo collect is going to go to... The purpose of this link is for no kids to stay without a bike. So whoever doesn't have the amount of votes, they're going to keep sharing it with amongst all the kids so they could all get a type of bike.
Yep. So thank you, Maylene, for your
You're welcome.
time.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm very proud of you and the growth
Thank you.
that you're demonstrating. And I'm happy that you came.
Thank
And
you. I
we're
appreciate
very
it.
hopeful that Keilany's gonna get that bike.
Yes, please.
Thank you guys. It had to be said.
Take care, guys.